guys, it is Tristan with Nerdouts Newsstand, and the show is getting harder and harder to cover each week because I have very little to say bad about it or even critical of it. This show is so good, but what I'm gonna do, I am gonna review it, but I want to give you some updated news when it surrounds this show because it does look like it is doing, first off, very, very well. It is right now the most in demand series. It is even beating out Attack on Titans and the Book of Boba Fett. So this is great news, which leads me to my next point. And that is that it is pretty much at this point already confirmed. Well, it's not technically confirmed, but James Gunn said there are very good chances we are going to get a second season. And with this series doing so well, and it was actually more of a slow burn, right? Took a little bit for it to catch on, but people eventually came around to Peacemaker. And with it doing so well for HBO Max, they are pretty much guaranteeing at this point we are going to get a second season. Then to add to that, I want to add that James Gunn is working on a second spin-off show in this universe. So does that mean in the DCEU, or more than likely it means in the Suicide Squad universe? So I'm just going to put this on the table here, James Gunn, if you're listening. I know you're not, but still, Ratcatcher 2. I love Ratcatcher 2. Please make this happen. You have your whole formula you need there, right? You've got Peacemaker and Eagly. You'll have Ratcatcher 2 and Sebastian. Come on. She was the best thing, of course, besides Harley Quinn, in the Suicide Squad movie. Everyone loved her. Everyone loved her character and her backstory, and she was adorable. Ratcatcher 2. That's where it's at. I would love to see that. Now, do I think it is that? Maybe. James Gunn does like to bring in cute and cuddly animals and make them amazing in shows, so it very well could be. I don't think it's going to be like King Shark, because that would be a very, very expensive show with all of that CGI. But it could also be, no, it's going to be Ratcatcher 2. I have faith. You cannot convince me otherwise. But even so, that is some really good news. A season 2, a new show, something from James Gunn in the DCEU. I feel like DC fans at this point are finally like, yes, we're getting something good with the characters we love that Marvel fans have had all along. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, let's talk about episode 5. I'm so excited, though. I'm glad that we're getting some good properties, some good live action properties in this show. Now, one thing that's amazing about this show, besides the intro and the music, all the things I've gushed about before, is this show feels like it is what is supposed to be. There are a lot of shows out there that try to get stuff right, like diversity, or try to be less divisive, try to be pure escapism or pure politics. But sometimes they don't feel like they got it quite right. Right? It doesn't matter the property. They just didn't get it. This show is exactly what it's supposed to be. And I know it sounds redundant and it sounds silly, but this show is so, oh my God, you ready for the cringe? Because I don't know any other way to say this. This show is so like punk rock, right? It is so live action, gore, and over the top violence, but really good character moments and really good world building and really good interactions. There's so much good in this show. And then you add in the hair bands and the crazy music and the John Cena of it all, who I had never seen act previous to Suicide Squad. And I'm like, I love him. He's great. He does a great job. You've got all these people that are really no-name actors, all doing a phenomenal job. You've got a little cameo from Viola Davis. Phenomenal job. A first-time character by, Amanda Waller's child, who, I don't know. I don't know about her. I like her a lot. I really do. But I'm a little worried she's going to frame Peacemaker. But then this all revolves around this diary, right? Amanda keeps wanting her to put this diary in Peacemaker's house, and basically whatever's in it is in it. We don't know what's in it. Now, I'm wondering if this has more to do with that subplot about White Dragon. Now, White Dragon is in jail, if you remember, but he was framed. So, him being framed, is whatever is in this diary going to keep him in jail? Or is whatever is in this diary going to put Peacemaker in jail? Like, it could go a couple different ways here. But I really like the police officer that is trying to clear White Dragon's name, even though she knows what a terrible person he is. It shows like a really good cop in here doing their job, even though they hate who they have to free. One of the biggest bigots and literal Nazis. And she still has to do her job because in this situation, the man is innocent. And I really like her character. I like that she even goes above, at one point, her new chief's head to get a search warrant. It happens to be her uncle. But even so, I like that she is so driven, and I think it's a really good character. So let's talk about everybody else. I love the way that we see Economos and the relationship with Peacemaker actually go about. And I love that we see him kind of become friends by the end. Speaking of which, in my last breakdown, I talked about Charlie the gorilla, and I thought it was cool that they had a little Easter egg. And it becomes not just a little Easter egg, it becomes a huge Easter egg. The gang heads off to a facility that is harboring and making all of the butterflies' food. And we get to see the first interaction with the guardian angel by the name of Charlie. Now, the great thing about this is the butterflies make people a lot stronger. Now we know they can also inhabit the animal sector of the earth. So they make them a lot stronger. So not only do we have this gorilla, but he's like 4 times the strength of a regular gorilla. We also get to see a different helmet in this episode, which is amazing. I love the X-ray vision. I love the part when they go into the warehouse and Peacemaker just starts shooting because he can tell that these people are butterflies. But it catches everyone off by surprise. It's a great episode. And I feel like when I make these reviews, all I'm sitting here is telling you the good. Because again, like I said, it's getting harder and harder. I don't have a whole lot to say. Sure, this episode was a little slower, but we got an adorable moment from Harcourt, and now has a group text message group called the 11th Street Kids because of the hairband, right? And basically, she's kind of getting her humanity and her compassion and her empathy back. Every single character is to a point, right? But we do end up in this episode with a reveal. The Agrabota basically puts on the X-ray vision, looks at Mur, and realizes what is happening here. Realizes that Mur is, in fact, a butterfly. And because of doing so, oh boy, he chases after her. And that's the end of the episode. I was so mad. I was like, I thought I had like 10 minutes left. Come on, the show went too fast. But I don't think, let me know in the comments below, of course, like and subscribe if you're new and enjoy this type of content. But I don't think that Mern is going to hurt anybody. I think he is trying to get to her to explain himself. And I think we're going to learn and have a pretty heavy exposition dump in the beginning of the next episode. I also love that we got to see a clip I hope is in the beginning of the video. If it's not, I apologize. It's on my TikTok. But it is just the biggest outburst of Peacemaker going up against Economos naming all these people he could have framed besides his father. So I find this whole concept extremely interesting. I want to make a breakdown video later this week about how I think this is all controlled by the Reach and kind of do a theory video. I'll do that in a separate video. But honestly, I absolutely suggest this show. I cannot recommend it enough. I think the humor is amazing, the storytelling's amazing, the character work is amazing, and that soundtrack, come on now. Anyways, let me know who you think down below is going to be the next Suicide Squad member to get their own TV show from James Gunn. And let me know why you think it is Ratcatcher too. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.